Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Partha, the ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. The Moksha Sannyasa Yoga 18th Adhyaya, and Sri Krishna has started teaching us about the threefold distinctions of karma. Having explained to us threefold distinctions of jnana, of the satvika, the rajasika and tamasic type of jnana, now Sri Krishna has taken up the topic of the karma as such. Sri Krishna is going to teach us the threefold distinctions of the jnana, the karma and karta. So the first part is over. We are on to the second part of karma. And Sri Krishna just now in our previous reading explained to us how is that sattvika karma that is being done. How that sattvika karma gets done by one who is devoid of any desires for the fruits of action. That person is not desirous of any fruits of action. But on the contrary, that person keeps on working on the work allotted to him, the work for which he or she they are ordained to do, the niyatam karma, the ordained work he or she does in a highly unselfish manner, not getting attached to the work and not falling in love with the work or not hating the work. Niyatam sangarahitam araga dveshataha krutam kāmepsunā, without desiring any fruits for the action. Kāmepsunā karma yat tat sattvikam uchyate. That karma which is done without any attachment to the karma, that ordained work, niyatam karma, which is done without loving the work or without hating the work, and one who does that work who is not desirous of any fruit, that work, that karma is declared to be sattvic. So that was a clear-cut teaching that we got from Sri Krishna as far as the purest of the pure type of work is concerned among the threefold works. Now today Sri Krishna is going to teach us about the rajasic type of karma. Now rajasic as it is, the rajasic attitude is filled with ego. We have seen that. The rajasic attitude is filled with ego, like in the knowledge also we have seen the rajasic knowledge. It gives a lot of importance to the I-ness. While the rajasic knowledge accepts diversity but does not accept unity, feels I am the supreme-most. So even in the same tradition, even the karma, the rajasic karma is done with a very high level of inflated ego. And the efforts are only to gain something out of it. Basically for self-gratification. Basically the rajasic work is done with the intent of getting something for myself. And there may not be a pure intent. There may not be the intention of doing that work may not be pure at all, because it is the work is being done only for some gain. for some personal gain, for some self-gratification. So let us see what Sri Krishna has to tell about this Rajasic type of karma in details. Yattu kāmepsunā karma sāhankārena va punaḥ kriyate bahulāyāsaṁ rājasam udāhṛitam. Yattu, but that karma, kāmepsunā, karmam sāhankārena va punaḥ. That karma which is done with some motive behind. I must get kāmepsunā. There is a desire for the fruit. That work is done with certain specific intention, with specific motive that I should get in return after doing this work. And then sāhankārena, ahankārena, that work which is done with a inflated ego, highly egoistic way of performing that work, with a very high level of ego. I am doing it, I must get it, I should get this in return, and this is my objective, this is my motive, this is my aim of doing the work, I must get it. That work which is done with the desire and with inflated, bloated ego, inflated out of proportions, that ego, sāhankārena va punaḥ kriyate bahulāyāsaṁ. Or again, that work which is done putting in extra, so many effort, unnecessary effort for that matter, because the greed for getting out of that work is so high. The person will put in unnecessary effort, thinking that the more effort I put in, the more returns I will get out of it. Bahulāyāsaṁ. So that kind of attitude with which one works, bahulāyāsaṁ, extra effort, unnecessary effort, tiring effort unnecessarily, because the intention is to reap more out of it, to reap more what one sows. That is the attitude of Rajasik. It is not as you sow, so you reap. It is not that attitude. If I am sowing 100 seeds, I should get 100,000 output. That kind of attitude. The entire intention is only on the outcome of the work, outcome of that activity. It is not that doing the activity without any intent, motive as such. It is not that doing activity without desiring for any fruit. Desire of the fruit is the main intention. And with that main intention, I am putting in the worst kind of efforts unnecessarily. And then if somebody asks me, my ego is so high, I will just blast that person. So the work which is done with intention, with a motive, with a desire for fruit of action, the work which is done by a person with a high elated ego, inflated ego for that matter, and the work for which one puts in unnecessary extraneous efforts, at times maybe just to show off. People should pay attention to this person. Oh, how much effort that this person is putting in. And people should think that, oh, he has put in so much of effort. Well, he should get that much of return. That is the intention when the Rajasic person starts doing the work in a Rajasic fashion. So that is the 24th Shloka Sri Krishna has told us about. But that action which is done by one craving for desires. You see, the word is kāmepsunā. It is not just desiring the fruits, craving for desires. Craving for desires of that work. And again, the work which is done with egoism, or the work which is done with much unnecessary extra effort, that is declared to be Rajasik. So this, the craving for desire, this comes out because of the lust and greed. And this is the basic intention of the Rajasic type of work. Rajasic type of work is undertaken to fulfill that desires of lust and greed, earning money, the sensual desires, the person becoming slave of the senses, as for that matter, and doing anything would go to any extent of getting those desires fulfilled. That is the intention of doing any assignment. That is the intention of doing any task, earning money, even if it is through bad means, even if it is through immoral means, even if it is through unethical means, earning money, enjoying those sensual pleasures. That is the only objective for these kind of people. And they get into performing the Rajasic work. Now, desire is of two kinds. What Sri Krishna tells here is a negative sort of desire, the desire towards lust and greed. There may be a sincere desire in a sattvic person to help somebody, to earn honestly, to earn in a most sincere manner. Whatever is required for day-to-day living, that the sattvic person will earn. But what about the Rajasic person? And Sri Krishna has told us earlier that Rajasic person may even go to an extent of killing somebody and even boasting for that. Oh, well, I have killed this person. I have killed so many to succeed my gains, to attain the gains that I need. I have killed and I won't mind killing more in future. So that is what the Rajasic attitude does. What promotes man's ethical progress, what induces spiritual anguish, what aids service to beings, a desire of this kind is wholesome. The desire to get the spiritual upliftment, the desire to get the evolution, the spiritual evolution, to get on to the higher level of austerities. That is a different kind of desire. To desire for liberation is a different kind of desire. The most pious, even that desire can be termed as a sattvic desire. But desire to earn money, come what may, under any circumstances, by any means, that is the Rajasic attitude. And then one starts doing the Rajasic karma. The desire which entangles man more in worldliness ought to be scrupulously avoided. Earning money by honest means and expending it on good cause is dravya yajna, which ought to be performed. But money earned in unethical way, money earned to satisfy the sensual desires, that is not acceptable for the spiritual aspirant. Maybe for the Rajasic person it is the only thing, the best thing that he can or she can do. Foul habits deprive man of the serenity. The very fact that man owns a body is mark of egoism. The moment we say, I am doing, the moment we realize ourselves to be this body, the egoism is already there. One cannot get rid of egoism so easily. It is extremely difficult to eliminate that ego. But that ego can be tamed. The untamed ego can create havoc like this. What Sri Krishna is talking here about, sāhankārena, that egoism, that is the untamed ego. That is the ego which has gone berserk. That is the ego which has gone absolutely inflated. The pompous body-centered life is the sign of egoism born of rajas. It is all show off. That egoism, all show off. I am doing this. I have earned this. I can do anything. That kind of show off. That is the typical Rajasic attitude in performing even the karma. Nothing can be achieved without effort, no doubt about it. Now what Sri Krishna says here is not, one should not put efforts. Sri Krishna has said, bahulāyāsaṁ. Ayasam is there. Ayasam is required for any work. But bahula, the unnecessary extra efforts just to show off, that should be avoided. That is not a sign of the sattvika karma. Bahulāyāsaṁ is the sign of rājasik karma. People seeing, oh, how much that person is working. That person is working 18 hours a day. It's not the sign. If that person is working 18 hours a day for the good of others, that person won't show off. People won't even come to know that that person is working. Like the sattvika kind of aspirant Sri Ramakrishna told us, that fellow will not make any show off of his austerities. Coolly, when the whole world is sleeping, this fellow will get up from in his mosquito net and start doing meditation, start doing chanting the name of the Lord. No show off. Maybe working 24 hours a day for that matter, sleeplessly. But nobody would make out that this person has spent so. But in case of Rajasik person, in case of person with that sāhankārena, that inflated ego, even if that person works for 10 hours, he will show off that he makes sure that everybody is looking that, oh, he's putting that extra effort. He's putting so much of effort. He must get the highest returns for that matter. A reasonable effort is sanctioned for all undertakings. Yes, a reasonable effort is very much required. But that for which man has not yet made himself worthy does not come to him, try however much he may. And making meaningless effort for that matter, unnecessary effort for that matter, in such cases, just trying to extract maximum out of the action, that putting in extra, unnecessary, meaningless effort is of no use. That may give the returns for a short term maybe, but in the long term, that return is not going to be of any use for the moksha, for the liberation. Because there is no tyaga in this, there is no sannyasa in it. It is done only with the intention of getting something. It is only done to fulfill the desires, which may be good, which may be bad. So this is what Sri Krishna told us. Now what Sri Ramakrishna tells us on this? How does a wicked egoism assert itself? How this wicked egoism as in the rajasic form, not in the sattvic form. The sattvic ego won't even make us realize that person is doing anything. Coolly, without anyone's notice, that person will be wholeheartedly, sincerely, in a dedicated manner, he will be working on the project without desiring anything, without loving or hating that project, and without any expectations out of it. But the wicked egoism, how it asserts itself. Don't you know who I am? You know, this kind of the reflection of that wicked ego, of the rajasic ego. Don't you know who I am? I am so much money. I have got so much property. Can you ever imagine how many properties I have? Is there anybody superior to me? In this fashion, the rajasic ego makes itself felt to others. This is what Sri Ramakrishna has told, and this is how exactly Sri Krishna has told the way the rajasic work gets done by the person with the rajasic attitude. All egoism, all what I am going to get out of it, everything done only to get something out of it because of the lust and the greed. That is the rajasic, which we have to be very careful about. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swamiji.